Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, or hello there if you're new. In today's YouTube video, I'm going to be drawing my original characters in winter outfits. I just thought it would fit the holiday season, and I also needed to design my OCs in winter outfits. So yeah, this is also like a way of me making an effort to drawing them more because I do not draw my original characters that often. But yeah, the three OCs that I'm going to be drawing or that I redrew in winter outfits are Leah, Wenny, winter design at the end. Anyways, let's get into the video. The first character that I'm going to be drawing is Wenny, and I'm doing her first because I want to save the best for last. I did draw her after I drew Tana and I drew Leah last, but I love Leah's new design, so I saved it for last. Best for last as always. So yeah, we're starting with Wenny. I used Tana's sheet as reference for Wenny's design because I wanted the heights of the character to be like fairly the same. Like the composition of the piece, I wanted it to retain the same-ish composition, though I did keep their height differences in mind while I was doing that. Plus, I also wanted the chibis to look relatively the same since I do not have a particular chibi art style, and knowing myself, it would look a bit too different from each other if I didn't have any references, so I needed that as a reference. Anyways, in Wenny's original design, she has a jumper that's green, and I wanted to keep that for the winter design since I knew that it would be quite warm, and since the trouser of the jumper is like really long, I felt like it would keep her warm in the winter. And then I gave her a turtleneck because I feel like that's cute and that's something that she could wear. So yeah, plus she's a photographer and I see that as a cute outfit that a photographer would have, so that's why I gave her that. I have no idea why the clip decided to get frozen at the sketch, but I had to cut a good portion of it out because it was just like frozen still. But anyways, moving forward, I got into line art and I did the chibi version first because it's just easier to do the line art and color the chibi version before I go to the big drawing because it gives me a basic idea of how I want to use the colors, especially if I'm not sure how I want to use them yet. So that's just what I did to help me with the whole process. I stuck to the greens from her color palette because Wenny's color palette is mostly greens, so I just went with that because I do not want her to branch far off from her regular color palette. And her hair is purple as always. Something I did do is color the bigger version and render it completely before I went back and rendered the chibi version. I don't quite remember my reason or my thought process for doing this, but it all just kind of happened. Oh, and for the pose, for the big version, I just wanted her to be interacting with the mittens. And for the small version, I was too lazy to make a detailed drawing or draw any hands, so I just went with the neutral standing pose. I just added text to her name and I was done. And here's the finished drawing. Anyways, the second OC is Leah. And again, I'm using Tana's drawing for height reference. Okay, so Leah is one of my younger OCs and she's younger than the first two I drew. I drew her like around New Year, but not this year, I think. Probably last year, I'm not quite sure. I'll put up the info if I check and find out the year I drew her. But yeah, I drew her for New Year and she was just baking like sweet food. She's good at baking. I imagine that maybe her mom was a baker and she got her into baking, or she just watched her mom bake and she got interested in it and now she's a very good baker. Anyways, in her original design, she has a bow, so I kept that. And her color palette is just like pinks and purples, which is really cute, so I stuck with that. I also feel like her brown hair matches her skin tone and her color palette a lot. I love the way it looks. I literally loved the drawing I made of her, the original drawing I made of her for like weeks after I drew it. Like I would post it almost every single time on every single account I had because I was just so proud of the way it looks. The colors are just so pretty to look at. Anyways, like I was saying, I retained the bow and I gave her like a puffy jacket and just a simple skirt and leggings because I feel like that's something a mom would put on her child during the winter. A literal puffy jacket and just a skirt and leggings. It's just like super cute and also child friendly, and it keep off the winter cold. So yeah, I just think it works. I am a changed artist and now I try to use Pinterest as often as I need to, but I have no idea why I didn't use Pinterest to like figure out the outfits to give my OCs. I just kind of went with the flow and thought of things that they would wear and I just put that on them. I am not a huge fan of her hairstyle. I think I could have done way better. I'm generally not good at drawing hair, which I suppose I should have learned how to draw by now. But yeah, I am just like going with the flow of things and I just made it the same way as her original design because I literally had no idea what else to do to it. But eventually, with time, I would do something better with the hair. Again, for this drawing, I finished up with the miniature version before I went to the larger version. And something I did struggle with was the lighting. So I shaded successfully, but for the lighting, I just couldn't find a good color that would make her look nice. For some reason, all the yellows I found made her hair look washed out, and I just wasn't feeling it. But eventually, I settled with something, and I'm not sure I love it, but I love the way the larger version looked after shading and lighting, so that would have to do. Moreover, I feel like that's going to steal the attention more than the chibi version, so I really do not mind. Okay, so yeah, I'm basically just working on it. I can't remember if I made this with my new phone or made it with my old phone, because if I did make it with my new phone, then I probably used the new drawing brush that I made, because for some reason I didn't save the QR code of the drawing brush and all the brushes that I like to use on my old phone, and now I'm just like stuck basically using just default brushes and making new drawing brushes, hoping that they would look half as nice as the old one I had that I made myself, and it's just kind of frustrating. But yeah, I think I found something that works for now. It's not as good, but it definitely works. And let's just take a second to appreciate the puffy jacket. I feel like the colors just look like really amazing. For her tights, I think I used the same color as her eyes for it, I think, because I feel like it's not going to be that obvious. Plus, I was too lazy to think of other colors to use or add extra colors, so I just went with what I already had. Now for my lighting, I used purple and just like airbrushed it for the lighting. Also used purple for the shading and then added rim lights with like blue, and it turned out like super amazing. And then adding snow was like a final touch that I thought of because I knew I was going to make it into a wallpaper and I just wanted it to look, nice and add a little bit of extra touches. And then I found a nice font, added text, and that was it. Anyways, that's it. I finished 2 drawings. So before I go ahead and show you the final drawings, I'd just like to say that I have a bunch of holiday themed wallpapers on my Ko-fi, which you can download for free. The Leah wallpaper is actually paid because I feel like it looks too nice to be free. So yeah, it's just like $1. You can download it from my Ko-fi, and you could download a bunch of other free wallpapers from there. The rest of the holiday themed wallpapers are free on there. I'm going to be having it display on the screen. So yeah, I'll link it in the description below individually and just the link to my Ko-fi, so you could find the direct wallpapers that you want, or just like, wander a little bit and find some extra cool wallpapers, because I do have a couple of wallpapers for like fandoms and stuff like that. I have a bunch of Disney wallpapers and just a bunch of random wallpapers. Moving on, we have Winnie in her like really simple design. And lastly, we have my favorite, Leah. That's all for all the drawings I made of my characters in winter outfits. Let me know which was your favorite. My favorite was Leah, like I mentioned. This is your sign to draw your OCs in winter outfits. Don't forget to go check out the wallpapers that I talked about in my Ko-fi, which will be linked in the description below. I'm not so sure when I'm going to post this video, but I think it's going to be somewhat close to Christmas. So happy holidays and Merry Christmas. Thank you so much for watching. I do hope that you enjoyed this video. Have a blessed day and bye.